As of the end of May, Vietnam's rice exports to the European Union (EU) market reached 46,839 tons, an increase of 6.8% compared to the same period last year, accounting for over half of the total quota of 80,000 tons of rice per year under the EVFTA agreement. Among them, rice exports to many growing markets in the region increased by 2 to 3 digits. Vietnam's rice exports to the EU continue to grow. In addition to traditional markets in Asia, Vietnam's rice exports to demanding markets with high standards like the EU have also been strengthened recently. According to data from the General Department of Customs, Vietnam's rice exports to the EU reached 46,839 tons, valued at $31.26 million, an increase of 6.8% in quantity but a decrease of 2.5% compared to the same period last year. With this result, Vietnamese enterprises have exported more than half of the total quota of 80,000 tons of rice per year that the EU has committed to Vietnam under the EVFTA. If the current growth momentum continues, some experts believe that Vietnam's rice exports to the EU in 2023 could reach 100,000 tons, the highest number to date, far exceeding the quota of the EVFTA agreement. Last year, enterprises also exported 94,510 tons of rice to the EU market, an increase of 48% compared to 2021 and surpassing the quota by more than 14,000 tons. Although the amount of rice exported to the EU is not large, accounting for less than 2% of the country's total rice exports, it is a market with great potential for Vietnam's high-quality fragrant rice and organic rice with high added value. Currently, fragrant rice jasmine, KDM, ST24, ST25, etc., accounts for over 39% of Vietnam's total rice exports to the EU, followed by white rice at 26.8%, Japanese rice at 18.2%, and glutinous rice, broken rice, and sticky rice. Therefore, the price of Vietnam's rice exports to the EU in the first 5 months of this year is quite high compared to other markets, averaging $667 per ton, which is 26% higher than the country's overall export price of $529 per ton. In February this year, for the first time, a batch of 15 tons of organic rice from farmers in Quang Tri province was exported to the European market at a price of $1,500 to $1,800 per ton, 2 to 3 times higher than the regular rice price. In terms of markets, Germany is currently the largest rice export market for Vietnam in the EU, with a volume of 9,831 tons, an increase of 31.5% compared to the same period and accounting for 21% of the market share. Next is the Netherlands with 6,324 tons, an increase of 37.5%, and accounting for 13.5% of the market share. Vietnam's rice exports to various other markets within the EU have grown by double to triple digits, such as Poland with a 109.2% increase, Hungary with a 571.2% increase, Belgium with a 165% increase, Spain with a 307.7% increase, and Portugal with a 13-fold increase. Among the major markets, the most significant decrease is in Italy, with a nearly 70% decrease in rice exports to this market, reaching only 5,638 tons. In general, Vietnamese rice has now made its presence in almost all EU member countries thanks to its improving quality, meeting the requirements of demanding markets, and demonstrating the potential to expand the market and increase Vietnam's market share of high-quality rice. The leading rice exporting companies from Vietnam to the EU market in the first 5 months of this year include Green Ocean Import-Export Company Limited, LOC Truari Group, Dong Gian Food Processing and Exporting Joint Stock Company, GAO Viet Company, Limited, and Binh Minh Grain Company. How is Vietnamese rice expanding its presence in the EU? The opportunity for Vietnamese rice to increase its presence in the EU has become more open since the EVFTA came into effect in August 2020. According to the commitments of the EVFTA, the EU has allocated a quota of 80,000 tons of rice per year for Vietnam, including 30,000 tons of husked rice, 20,000 tons of unhusked rice, and 30,000 tons of fragrant rice. Especially, the EU will fully liberalize broken rice, allowing Vietnam to export about 100,000 tons to this market each year. Since the EVFTA came into effect, rice has also been one of the commodities that best utilize the tariff preferences, with a care of utilization rate of nearly 100%. In addition to the tariff benefits, in recent years, Vietnam's rice production structure has been shifting positively towards high-quality rice varieties and expanding organic production models. Meanwhile, the EU's import demand is increasing due to the rice supply in the region facing the risk of decline for the second consecutive year, due to drought. According to the European Commission's Joint Research Centre, Italy accounts for 50% of the total rice production in the EU, but the main rice-growing regions in Italy have been unable to recover after the drought in 2022, and the reduced snowfall in the Alps, lower than the previous year. Therefore, Italy's rice production is forecasted to decrease, with the planting area decreasing to 211,000 hectares, a decrease of 7,400 hectares compared to 2022 and a decrease of 16,000 hectares compared to 2021. This will be Italy's lowest rice production area in 23 years. The decline in rice production in Italy can also lead to the country's top export markets, such as France, Germany, and the UK, turning to import from alternative suppliers such as Cambodia, Pakistan, Thailand, India, and Vietnam, according to Reuters. The US Department of Agriculture (USDA) predicts that EU rice production in the 2022 to 2023 season will decrease sharply by 22.9% compared to the previous season, reaching the lowest level since 1990 with 1.33 million tons. Therefore, rice imports in the region are projected to increase to a record level of 2.65 million tons in 2023. At the same time, the USDA states that EU harvests will be higher in 2024, but consumption is expected to continue to increase compared to 2023. According to the latest data from the European Union Statistical Office Eurostat, the EU imported a total of 845,837 tons of rice from external markets, an increase of 5.2% compared to the same period last year. Vietnam ranks 8th on the list of the largest rice export markets to the EU with a market share of 3.7%.